Hi, third grade. We have our handwriting lesson like we do every Wednesday. Wednesday is our handwriting day. So I need you to get out your handwriting books and a pencil. And let's walk over what we have done in handwriting so far. Let's go ahead. I want you to know these will be checked when we go back to school. I will be checking these, so make sure you are doing your work and doing what you're supposed to do in your handwriting book. All right, so far in our handwriting book, we have completed all the way up to page. We've done a lot in our handwriting book so far. We have completed all the way up to page 20, or no, we're in the 30s. We did up to 30. Yep. So we have completed all the way up to 32. We are on page 32 today. Repeat. We are on page 32 in our handwriting book. 32. And in this lesson, we are learning undercurved strokes. It says, on the next pages, you will write lowercase letters that begin with an undercurved stroke. Undercurves swing up. So here, you could practice some undercurved strokes right here. Make sure this is still recording, because I don't see it recording. Yes, it is. Sorry. All right, so we're back to doing undercurved strokes. So as you can see, these letters, each of these letters begin with an undercurved stroke. So go ahead and make sure you have your book and you're following along with me. And you could trace this. Trace these underhand strokes. You see where it's yellow? Go ahead and trace all of those. I'm going to trace all of those. Then it says trace and write. Check. It says circle your best undercurved stroke. So we're going to do our best here. Then they take off the training wheels. So it starts with the little dot here, and they take off the training wheels, and we have to do it ourselves. And then you have to circle your best one. I really like my first one that I did. Then you got to do the same thing over here. All right. And then it says undercurve swing up. Undercurve swing up. So make sure you start from the bottom and you swing up. Undercurves may be short or tall. Showing you some letters here. I and P here are short. L and H have undercurves that are long. Swing wide to join a letter that ends with an undercurve to a letter that begins with an undercurve. Ooh, I love this. So you get to see how they're actually connected. Look, undercurve, connect. Look at this one. Undercurve. Watch this one. Connect, undercurve. Watch this one. Undercurve, connect. See how it's connected? Undercurve, connect to that E. Position your paper correctly so undercurved letters will have a good slant. So when you're doing cursive, it is good to position your book where you get that nice slant. Because you notice that all the cursive writing in this book it's slanted. And that takes lots of practice. So if you don't get that right off the bat, that is okay. So undercurve, slant, undercurve, lift, dot. So we're going to learn our first cursive letter, and it's the letter I. So excited. So we're going to practice I. We're going to make some I's here, and we're going to connect the I's down here. It looks like we're connecting two I's down here. And then our next letter is going to be T, and then our next letter we're going to do is U, and that's what we're going to do today in our lesson. We'll do I's, because this might take you some time. We're going to do T, and we are going to do U. So let's see what it's asking us to do. So it says trace and write. Check your best work. So you get to trace the letter I. Go ahead and trace the letter I. Take your time. I know it looks like I'm speeding right through this. I'm not rushing. I am just skilled. I already learned cursive in 3rd grade many years ago. So remember, it says undercurve slant, undercurve lift, and put the dot. Undercurve slant and dot. And then you're going to practice on these 2 lines by yourself. I'm not going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to do it a few times, but I'm not going to do it all the way down. You're going to have to do it until you reach this check mark here. That means done. So it gives you the training wheels to start with that dot. You're going to do the undercurve, right? And then you're going to do another undercurve up. Notice I'm paying attention to that middle line there. I'm going to bring this down further. Then I'm going to put my dot right there. And you might need to position your book so it's slanted. So undercurve up. Do not lift your pencil. Undercurve up again. So it's 2 undercurves. Undercurve slant, undercurve lift, dot. Notice that mine is not as slanted as this one here. I'm going to try to do it without the dot now. So I'm going to go undercurve and then slant. Whoop, mess that up. Oh, look what happens. You have an eraser if you mess up. Please never do this in pen. So undercurve and then slant up, dot. Undercurve, slant up, dot. Undercurve, slant up, dot. That is the letter I. Keep practicing all the way there and then start on this line and keep practicing. It's fun. And do not lift your pencil until you have finished that bottom part and you can put your dot. All right, we're going to connect these 2 I's. This is join I and I. We're going to join 2 I's together. So you need to trace these first. So these are actually showing 2 I's joined together. Make sure you're tracing them and getting that feel. Then you're going to try it by yourself down here. Slant, undercurve. Oh, it's connecting. Undercurve. Look at that. There's 2 I's there. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to do it one more time. Show you. Notice how my hand does not lift up. And remember, we're not going for perfection here. We are going for learning and trying new things. Be wild. Be brave. You know? Don't be afraid to make mistakes. You're going to finish that all the way to that and do the same thing on the other line. The process is pretty much the same for T and U. You're going to do the same thing we did for I. So what you're going to do is you're going to practice tracing the T's and doing it yourself. So with a T, you go undercurve, slant, undercurve, lift, and then you do your straight side line in the middle. So this is a lowercase t. Notice that there's arrows up here that tell you where to start and where to finish. You only lift your pencil up when you do that cross in the middle. So it's just like making an I, but you go up a little bit further. Notice that. Undercurve slant. Remember, they say undercurve slant. That undercurve is slanted. And then you're going to do another undercurve. So it's like tracing back down and doing another undercurve. So you're going to do undercurve slant. And then this is where you're going to trace back down and do another loop-de-loop right there. Then you get to cross it. Slant, loop, down. And trace that one. Then you're going to do it by yourself. Undercurve slant, down, undercurve, right there. That's not my best one now. So I'm going to try it again. And don't feel like you have to erase all the time. Sometimes you can just leave. You're going to have a lot of practice here. So if you mess up one time, just leave it. Just leave it, okay? because you get to see how your letters improve. So don't feel like you have to erase every time. I'm like, oh man, I didn't do that right. I'm going to erase it. Don't feel like you have to do that, okay? Just know, oh, I think I can do that one better. I'm going to try that the next time. There we go. Notice that I'm crossing the T. Oh, I should be crossing the T. I will fix that. I was crossing the T on the midline. You go a little above the midline when you're crossing the T. So you go a little above the midline when you're crossing the T. Excuse me. I'm going to try that again. Go a little above the red line, the midline, crossing the T. All right, you're going to do that for here. And here, down here, you get to connect the I and the T's and practice that, trace and practice. And then it's the same thing on page 35. You're going to practice with you. So you notice that these letters are very similar because of that undercurve. See, you kind of looks like those I's that we connected, doesn't it? And pay attention to the cursive words here. So this is umbrellas. Look how that looks in cursive. And you could try to write that on your own piece of paper, and it'd be fun to do. Have fun with this. Handwriting's supposed to be fun. Test tubes. Test tubes. So not only are we learning how to cursive write, but we want to know how to read cursive writing, most importantly. We want to know how to read it. So that's why we learn how to write it as well. So when you see cursive writing, you'll be able to read it. So make sure you're reading these words and paying attention to that. And I had insect right here. And it also helps you get to become familiar with the difference between manuscript and cursive. And so like look at that N. In manuscript, the N has one hump, but in cursive, the N has two. Take a look at that stuff. Notice that stuff. Pay attention. So just like on the other pages, you're going to be tracing and doing those undercurves. And you're going to practice, practice, practice. And then down here, you're connecting a U to a T. And here, I love this part. You're connecting U, I, and T together. Okay? And you're doing your best. You're doing your best. I could have probably slanted that a little bit more, but that's okay. It's good enough. There we go. Look at that one. Now, I would trace these before trying to do them yourself. I just wanted to show you what to do. Make sure you're following. You're copying what's right above it, right? So TU is here. I'm right below it. I'm going to put TU. I would trace this first and then try to do it myself. And it's the same down here. You have TU. You're going to trace it and then write it. Try to write it by yourself down here right below it. Right below it. Like this one has U and I connected. And then down here, I would try to write U and I. Remember, if it's an I, it's very important to have that dot. It's very important. That's how you distinguish a cursive I, is with that dot. Okay, quick review on what you're doing today for handwriting. You are doing page 33. Oh, excuse me, 32. You're starting with page 32, learning the undercurve strokes. That's going to lead you into making real letters. On page 33, you're going to do I. You're going to do T, and you're going to do U. And like I said, feel free to get your own little piece of paper and practice these words. See if you can write these words: umbrella, test tubes, insect. That would be fun to do. Or try to do it on the side of your book. All right, third grade. I can't wait to see your handwriting books in the near future.